Hello and welcome to Trojans Live.
Jordan Moore, Sean Cody, and speaking of USC legends, the great John Jackson is back in the house. Always awesome to see and hear from JJ. And JJ, we had Amon-Ra St. Brown on earlier in the show, and I think you got to listen to that a little bit. But, he's a guy that you've known for a long time. So I'm just wondering sort of how you see him as an NFL prospect and what you see as his future in the league.
Well, to be honest with you, Jordan, I think that he's going to be one of the most underrated draft choices. It's going to end up being a star one day. As we know now, having him on your team, his work ethic is tremendous. His leadership is tremendous. And he is, the one thing that people don't give him enough credit for is how smart he is. He's extremely smart as well. A straight A student in high school. I've gone back with Amon-Ra and his dad all the way back to Pop Warner football.
Yeah.
I am going to call his agent and ask for a commission or some kind of pay so I don't tell all the other NFL teams how to stop him, because I know how to stop him.
JJ, let's take it back in the time machine here. Now, when you were going through the process, USC just had their pro day. What was the process like after your final season at USC, getting to the draft and to the NFL?
Well, first of all, Sean, there was a whole different, they didn't have it recorded. It wasn't on ESPN. It wasn't on any other, network channels. It was fly to Indianapolis. You're there for 2 days. You get poked and prodded and measured for 2 full days straight. It was the most irritating thing I've ever gone through in my life. I absolutely hated it. And part of it was because I didn't run as fast as Amon-Ra did.
Well, it's funny you say that though, JJ, because I've heard a lot of guys talk in this process where they go, "Oh, it's too." People are saying, "Oh, it's too bad these guys don't have the combine in Indy," and then all the pros, all the people that have been through it are saying what you just said, which is like, "No, it's not too bad. It's terrible. Nobody likes the combine. They don't think it reflects football." So it is funny to sort of get that perspective. It's become a television show, but for football guys, it doesn't seem like it's particularly fun.
No, not at all. First of all, you go into the weights were the first day, and you had to do the bench press. And for a guy like me who didn't lift that many times, 225, that exhausted me for like 3 days. I was done after that. I needed like a week off. But Amon-Ra, as you could tell, you saw with his shirt off and everything. He, to Sean's point, the fact that he didn't do 25 was a surprising thing. He is as strong as it gets it for a receiver. As a matter of fact, back in my day, they would have said he's too big, if you can believe that. But he is, that's part of the strength of his game, and that's how he plays. He plays very physical brand of football. I think, along with the receiver, you get a kick returner, actually, to be honest with you, he's really good on defense as well. Nobody's ever played him there since Pop Warner football, but
that's what you always say. Every time we get a player, you go, he's actually better on defense. That was your Marquise Lee line. That was your Michael Pittman Jr. line. I think it's just because you didn't want all these guys to be receivers and break all your records. That's the problem.
That's true too, Jordan.
That's Juju. Right. You were trying to get Juju to play defense.
Yeah, Juju was a safety. He's a better safety than a receiver.
That's right.
He should have moved a lot earlier when he was at USC.
Brew McCoy. I bet you think Brew McCoy should be playing defense for USC.
Brew McCoy, I'm telling you, he is Matt Barr.
Anthony Barr,
yeah. That's how good he is on defense. He's better defensive end. They used him as a rush end in high school at Mater Dei. So he was a two-way player in high school.
Yeah.
I told his dad that he would be a better defensive player a long time ago. He didn't listen to me. It's probably going to cost him millions of dollars.
JJ, I should have played offense too. I was a great tight end.
No, I don't know about that, Sean. I saw you play too.
Hey, let's take a quick break here, guys. We'll come back. We'll talk a little spring football before we're all done. Trojan fans, no matter where you cheer on USC this season, be sure to grab an ice cold Dos Equis for tip-off and fight on. Enjoy Dos Equis, responsibly imported by Cervezas Mexicanas, White Plains, New York. One more segment to come on Trojans Live.
Imagine this: 4 sparkling pools, a 2-story fitness center, 2 NBA-sized basketball courts, a marble sand volleyball court, music studio.
Stay right there, JJ, doing great.
An on-site
Was it all right?
Yeah, you're doing awesome.
Skyline views. No, this isn't.
Except for I had these soft, buttery hands, JJ.
I don't know about that, Sean. They weren't buttery in high school, Sean.
7964. Experience luxury at the Lorenzo Student Apartments, the official off-campus student housing sponsor for USC Athletics.
Love getting prices that are lower than low on backyard favorites like grill-ready hamburgers and fresh-picked strawberries? Then shop at Ralph's. We give you more ways to save on the fresh you love with tools like the Ralph's app, where you can find personalized coupons on top of weekly sales, plus rewards like fuel points, giving you prices that are lower than the everyday.
What time's the game tomorrow, Jordan?
Ralph's.
What's up, Ben?
What time's the game tomorrow?
4:15 Pacific.
Returning a young girl to her family. Rent news.
All right, 1 minute, guys.
Shock the world, baby.
5 years after the end of the Civil War,
Why not us?
Captain Jefferson Kidd
Why
travels
not
from town
us?
to town as a
Damn
non-fiction
good point,
storyteller.
Jordan.
When he's asked to return a young girl to her family against her will, the two travel
We
hundreds
keep
of
shooting
miles.
threes like that.
Tremendous
We win.
challenges
Yeah.
of human and
Shoot
natural
threes at
forces
60%
as they
would be
search
all
for a
right.
place to call
Dude.
home. Watch News
Killing
of the
it.
World and make it a red box now.
You got to make free throws.
Oh, no, we've given up on free throws.
Okay.
We decided if we just don't take them, we have a better
Yeah, we don't
chance.
even take the free throws.
Being a Trojan
We don't
fan,
want to run the time off the clock.
with the Wells Fargo
Give us more
Trojan
time to
debit
score.
card, your Trojans pride, no matter where you are or when you're making a purchase. It's your colors, your team, your car. Visit wellsfargo.com and search Car Design Studios to learn more. Copyright 2020, Wells Fargo Bank, NA, all rights reserved.
Now, back to more Trojans Live from the KABC studios in downtown Culver City.
Yeah.
Here are your hosts, Jordan Moore and USC legend Sean Cody.
One final segment of Trojans Live on this Monday. Jordan Moore, Sean Cody, John Jackson. A reminder that tomorrow is the big game, USC and Gonzaga in the Elite Eight. It'll tip at 4:15 Pacific time right here in KBC and the USC Trojans Media Network. We will go on at 4 o'clock for the pregame show live here from Indianapolis. But we're talking football a little bit because spring football starts tomorrow, so it's just a big day all around at USC. And JJ, you always have the intel. You obviously have a son on the team, and you're always pretty well glued in. The thing I'm looking to see maybe is some changes in bodies, because it sounds like the new strength staff has really gotten after these guys in the offseason.
Yeah, I can attest to that. The new strength and conditioning program has been very taxing on the players. I can tell you that. And to be honest with you, the players love it and enjoy it. And I think that you're exactly right. You're going to see a transformation of guys that will be either elevating themselves, or if you don't jump on the ship, you're going to be out. I tell you that, because this staff is extremely serious about the strength and conditioning. And I think you're going to see a much improved USC football team come the fall. Of course, we'll have to wait for that, but right now you get to see them on the spring football field. And I think it's going to be a much more physical spring camp. I expect that all the way around, all the way through. But the biggest thing for me, Jordan, is I think that this spring, they got to get an identity identified. We cannot go into next year not knowing, are we a passing team? Are we a running team? Are we a physical team? Or are we not? I think the physicality will be there because of the strength and conditioning program. But I think the spring ball has to be used to create a solid identity of who this team is going to be come the fall.
JJ, you talked about last year, they looked like the team took some strides in the right direction, but ultimately just didn't get it done versus Oregon. When you think about the whole thing, where does this team, you think, in your opinion, need to get better? Not just identifying itself and what it is, but where do they need to get better at?
Well, I think at the point of attack, Sean, I think that, offensively, they have to be able to run the football consistently when they want to, not when other teams are allowing them to, because they're playing like dime defense when they want to. When they want to say, we're going to run the ball, it's sort of a little bit of what Oregon has been able to establish, is now when Oregon wants to run the football, Cristobal lines up and runs the football, and you just have to deal with it. And that's the old USC, as you know, just as well as I do. And that's what needs to come back come the fall.
Sean, what are you looking at in terms of this spring? What do you have your eye on? I mean, I know you always sort of joke, spring football's not exactly your favorite time of year, at least as a player it wasn't. But what would you like to see them accomplish over the next 6 weeks?
Well, they got some big positions, I think, to fill. When you lose Elijah Vera Tucker at left tackle, you're going to have a competition there at left tackle, see what's going on. You speak about losing Talanoa Hufanga back there. Although you got Isaiah Palomau coming back, there's going to be another guy that has to step up at that position. And just across the board, you want to see a team, and you got to see younger guys step up during spring. It's a time for young guys to get some growth and really get those reps. You're going to have some guys that you trust and maybe don't need those reps, those older guys that don't need those reps, but those young guys need to come in. You need to see who the young guys you can count on during the seasons are going to be.
And what about the quarterback position, JJ? I mean, going to this season, I was reading an article in The Athletic today about Keaton Slovis, and he sort of acknowledged that last year he had a dip in confidence. You have these young guys maybe pushing him from behind, but, always eyes on the quarterback spot. It's Keaton's job, but, we're always watching the QB.
Right, exactly. And I think that I agree with you, Jordan. I think it's Keaton's job, and I don't think that there'll be much competition to take it. But I do think that, I'll be interested to watch his growth. Keaton still has a lot of room to grow as well as he has played, and as much as he has now established himself as USC starting quarterback. I think there's a lot of growth for him, and I think that he's also, the next guy that you're going to look for that's going to be ready for these NFL combines and how he throws the quarterback and arm strength and all the other things that you see a lot of other quarterbacks around the country go through, leading up to the draft. It'll be his turn next year. Yeah. So look out. And, I'm anxious to see how much better that he will be. I know for a fact that he is working his tail off. It just be interesting to find out how much better he has gotten over with another year of work.